We're so caught up on reflecting. We think that if we just reflect a little bit more, then we can perfect our lives. When in reality, it's Good morning, you guys. Happy Friday. It is the day after Thanksgiving, and I figured what better day to vlog about feeling food guilt, food shame, and then body guilt, body shame than the day after a holiday where everybody tends to eat a lot and feel bad about it, which still kind of blows my mind. Like, if we're all going to be doing the same thing, why not just enjoy it, you know? Like, that's kind of the mindset that I've adapted, is like, okay, well, I'm gonna eat anyways. I could either eat and feel a lot of guilt and shame about it, or I can eat and feel very grateful and happy that I even have the opportunity to eat so much, and that I have family to break bread with, and that I have all this delicious food on the table. Like, there's so much to rejoice about, and sometimes I get it, like that shame overpowers it. Let's be honest, we all go through that. We all wake up some days feeling not as great about our bodies as others, and I find that a lot of the times we measure how good we feel based on how skinny we feel. That's just a bias. Like, there is no proof that says that, oh, if you have 2 pounds less of water weight, you should feel better, you know? Like, so those little things, like, you have to keep consciously breaking. So this morning, woke up, feel super bloated. Let me show you what I'm working with here. Yep, this is happening. Really bloated, it hurts. I woke up and I was like, wow, like, I feel lazy, I feel lethargic. But then the second question that I asked myself was like, wait, do you actually feel lazy and lethargic, or are you just making that up based on what society told you is associated with feeling bloat or overeating or etc., etc.? Basically, you have to keep asking yourself, what is true and what did you make up based on what diet culture has told you? With that being said, I told myself, no, Mary, you do not have time for bad body image thoughts today, because I have to do a mini photo shoot with my little sister. We actually were shooting for a mattress company called Lull, and they reached out and they're like, hey, we'll send you a mattress. We want you to do a post. So we're gonna do like a cute little unboxing video and a photo shoot on this mattress, and I know my sister's gonna have a ton of fun with that. So yeah, no time for bad body image thoughts. Today, I get to have a beautiful day, and I hope you do too. I will show you some other behind the scenes of this photo shoot. Ilana and I are wearing matching, what are these, pajamas? Well, you're wearing a dress. Can we call it a pajama dress for the video? Okay, cool. We're wearing matching pajamas and pajama dresses because we're unboxing the Lull mattress. Okay, tell me, how do you like it?
Can it be mine?
What does it feel like?
Air.
Air? I think it feels like
a cloud.
A cloud. How'd you like being my photographer? You can be honest.
Well,
Mom, not that honest.
Yeah.
Dolly and I are out here in Arizona eating at one of my favorite places, True Foods.
Nom nom.
We gotta tell them how we met.
I opened up my DMs on the Instagram. I see this really cute girl named Mary who's like, hey, my friend recommended you as a photographer. I love your work. We should hang out. And I was like, yes, I agree. We should hang out. But at the time, I was in Wisconsin.
We're vlogging.
I get vlogging shy.
I get vlogging insecurities too, I won't lie. But you gotta do what you gotta do.
So I was in Wisconsin at the time, and I come down here in the winter. Take this off. And so I was coming down in Arizona for a week.
I slid in the DMs and I'm like, my friend Rachel recommended you, we should totally meet up. She's like, yeah, let's do it. So we meet at the Starbucks and we're in line, and I was like, so how do you know Rachel? And she's like, who's Rachel? And I was like, she recommended you. So I'm trying to like prove it to her. I pull out my phone and I go through me and Rachel's like messages where she's like recommending photographers, because I wanted to do that. I had that idea for that cute Calvin Klein photo, you know, the one where I'm like patiently waiting for Calvin Klein to be size inclusive. So I had that idea and I was looking for a photographer to do that with, and it turns out Rachel never recommended me to her, or her to me.
No, Rachel.
And I just slid in the DMs, made that up, and now here we are months later.
BFFs.
BFFs. I'm telling you guys, social is awesome. Like, you could just slide into somebody's DMs and be like, hey, Rachel recommended you.
Thanks, Rachel.
Okay, so I got, what is this called? A TLT? Tempeh. Oh wow, look at that. Look. Hi friends, it is Saturday, the day after Friday. Bet you knew that. I kind of stopped vlogging yesterday because I felt a little bit scatterbrained with my thoughts because I had one of those days on Thursday. I'll be totally honest with you guys. Not only did I eat a lot, but I also drank a lot of wine. I had a lot of pie and I went to bed feeling like physically so uncomfortably full. And I say that with very great intention because I rarely use the word uncomfortably full, because a lot of the times we're actually comfortably full, but we say it's uncomfortably full because diet culture tells us that we shouldn't be full. And that's a whole nother thing that I would argue, that there is such a thing as being comfortably full, and there is such a thing as like eating your feelings and actually feeling better after you eat, because there's nothing wrong with emotional eating. Oh, all of these are like tangents that I could go off either direction, and perhaps I'll make different videos about those. Let me know in the comments if you want to hear more about those topics. But what I wanted to talk about today is like, how do you get over one of those days? Because you know when you have that day where you eat a lot at dinner, or like, I'm talking like physically uncomfortably full. So let's just call it a binge. And those side effects of the bad body image days that come after that, I wanted to just sit down and talk about it because I feel like when I'm vlogging, I can't get everything across that I want to. So first things first, I'm just gonna retrace my steps yesterday and what I did to get over that Thursday Thanksgiving of eating a lot, feeling physically uncomfortable after how much I ate. I woke up the next morning yesterday and I still felt full. So that brings me to point number one. I want you to tune into your body like you've never ever tuned into your body before the morning after a binge or a day of overeating or a bad body image day, okay? Like I really want you to sit on your bed, preferably first thing in the morning. Don't look in the mirror. That is the key. Like, do not look in the mirror because one, you're gonna be upset, but two, it's gonna skew your perception of how your body feels. So I remember when I was in Bali, there were barely any mirrors. Like we had mirrors that were this high, I guess, where you can only see your face, but you couldn't see your body. So I would get dressed and just like hope it looked okay, you know, like I never saw my full body, and that was so freeing, like so freeing. And then I came back and my mom told me that she saw like a no mirror challenge that's meant to be like a body image type of exercise where you focus on how your body feels instead of how it looks. That's like what I always say, don't let your body image get in the way of your life experience. So focus on how things feel more than they look. So I want you to literally sit on your bed and tune into your body. And the first question you're gonna ask yourself is just, how do I feel today? And I really, really want you to answer this honestly, and I dare you, triple dog dare you, to not say, I feel fat, I feel guilty, I feel all these negative things that we think we should feel the day after a binge. Because here's the truth, a lot of the times we don't actually feel those negative feelings. We just think we should be feeling those negative feelings, so we make ourselves feel those negative feelings, when in fact, physically speaking, maybe we actually feel really good, but we haven't allowed ourselves the chance to feel really good and to just admit that to ourselves and own it, that it's possible to have a binge, have a day of overeating, have a bad body image day, and you could still feel okay, or maybe more than okay. Like, I want you to allow for that possibility, because I get it, the day after a binge is hard. You feel bloated, you feel like you should over-exercise. Diet culture is telling you all these things about how you should maybe not eat breakfast or do this and not that. And the truth is that that's all just made up. Like, it's seriously, all of it is just made up for profit. And unless you tune into your body, you're gonna be influenced by all these messages that are like infiltrated into our being from diet culture about how we should feel after a binge, about what we should do after skipping a workout or eating a lot. Do you get what I'm saying? So the first question is, how do I actually feel? And I dare you to not use negative words. You can use neutral words, but stay away from words like fat, guilty, shameful, I'm not eating, those kinds of things. Okay, now I'm taking a dramatic eating break. I just feel like everything is dramatic on video when the reality is I'm sitting here in my kitchen eating freaking coconut yogurt and talking to a camera. I don't know what's dramatic about that. If anything, it's a little bit lame. And the dogs are staring at me like I'm a crazy person. The drama. Anyways, that brings me to my second point on what to do the day after a binge when you're feeling like you're gonna have a low body image self-worth day. I want you to put on clothes. Yesterday I woke up, I was filming me in like those yoga pants and that shirt. I wore like very comfortable, loose fitting clothes. You don't want to put on jeans. Like, don't do that to yourself. Come on. Don't do that to yourself. Don't just like go and put on jeans first thing in the morning, especially before you go to the bathroom. And that's another thing. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I feel so bloated and terrible today. And my first question is like, well, did you go to the bathroom? And I say this very like seriously, because your gut has so much serotonin and happy hormones in there that if you don't go to the bathroom, you don't release those happy hormones. And I don't know if you've ever been constipated before, but it's not a good feeling. This brings me to the third point, which is based on how you answer that question of how am I feeling today? This is the unpopular opinion part. That's going to pretty much determine what you eat. A lot of the times we think that just because we ate a lot, we're not going to be hungry in the mornings. And so many times I wake up in the morning and I am starving. But then there are days when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I actually am not hungry, and eating right now is not going to satisfy me, nor is it going to make me feel better. In which case, don't eat. Like, wait a little bit, sip on some tea or coffee, do whatever feels good to you. But I want you to like sit and tune in. I don't know how else to describe this besides with my hands. I want you to like get real with how you feel. That rhymes. I want you to get real with how you feel, so that way you know that if you decide to postpone breakfast a little bit, it is coming from a place of love and respect for your body, and not for a place of restriction because I should, because diet culture told me to, because I'm scared to gain weight. All that stuff, like, you have to throw it out the window, because otherwise the cycle is gonna perpetuate. And that's the number one thing that got me to break the cycle, is I knew if I didn't break it, it would just keep going. So like, why would you keep self-fulfilling this prophecy that you know is gonna fail over and over again, that you know is gonna make you feel bad over and over again, and that you know is gonna send you in a bad spiral trap that's gonna be even harder to get out of the deeper you get into it? You wanna break the cycle, but with that being said, I don't want you to force yourself to eat if you don't want to. Sometimes that makes us more obsessed with food. So for me personally, yesterday I woke up, I got ready, I filmed some content, I took some photos, and then I had a brunch. So for me, that just felt good. Don't force yourself to eat and make yourself obsessed with food and like go in this thing of like, I should do this because the eating disorder recovery community told me that if I don't, I'm restricting, and I should not eat because diet culture told me that if I do eat, then I'm fat. I want you to sit down and be like, okay, what do I feel like right now? When you are having one of those days, I need you to get out of the house and like do stuff, like do active stuff. So if for you that looks like I'm gonna go to the gym, great. If it's like seeing friends, for me, I love meeting up with friends because I love how it forces me to like get out. So I always say, when in doubt, focus out. So if you are feeling self-doubt, focus out, help somebody else, call a friend. That always helps without a doubt. I go meet with a friend for coffee. By the end of it, a couple hours went by. We are walking, we're shopping, we're talking, we're laughing, and my bad body image day is gone. That's it. It's just gone, because now there's suddenly more important things to focus on, more important things to see, to appreciate, to enjoy, than me and like my inner self-worth conversation. So when in doubt, focus out, get out of the house. Don't just sit and wallow in self-pity. I used to do that. Like, I used to think that because I felt low, because I felt like my body wasn't good looking, then I didn't deserve to talk to anybody, that I wasn't worthy of building relationships or even working on my career or doing something that I enjoyed, because I felt so bad about myself that I thought, well, shit, screw it. Like, I'm just gonna self-sabotage. Don't do that. Don't do it. If you need like an accountability friend, somebody that you can be really open and honest with. So I'm pretty open and honest with all my friends, including you guys. Maybe if you find one person that is just a little bit more understanding of what you're going through, what your thought process goes through, and more often than not, they can totally relate to you. So if you're like honest with them, like I'll call my friends and I'll be like, yeah, I'm feeling kind of low today. And usually the follow-up question is, oh, why do you think that is? And that self-reflection alone is so powerful. So whether you talk about it with somebody, or you self-talk it through with yourself, or you journal about it, that self-reflection of like, why do I feel low today? Like, what is making me have this like low self-worth conversation? Is it really the food? Generally speaking, it's not the food, it's how we feel about the food. It's like what we did around the food. It's the way that we ate the food. Those could all be things, but it's also even deeper than that. It's like that self-worth conversation of feeling like I don't deserve to eat. I'm not worthy of taking up space. I am not beautiful unless I look a certain way. My personality doesn't matter as much as my looks matter. These are all thoughts that we subconsciously tell ourselves, and then we fuel it into the food, but it's not about the food. So I need you to do some self-reflection and really get real with how you feel so that you can heal. And ask yourself, what is actually going on? Why do you think that is? That same question that any friend would ask you if you're telling her that you're feeling low. Ask yourself that question. Why do you feel that way? Is it because, for me personally, Thanksgiving, I felt that way because I drank a little bit too much, and I felt like I wasn't like fully present with my family because I was like laying on the couch. So I felt a little bit disconnected there in my relationships, and it caused me to like take it out on the food a little bit, which is totally okay. Like, it's normal to emotional eat. It's normal to eat a lot. It's also totally okay if the food just tastes good. That's it. That's the end of the story. Food tastes good. I want more. That's okay too. For me, it was like that disconnection of like feeling like I'm not as close to my family as I wanted to be on Thanksgiving. And because of that, I kind of got in like a little self beat up about it of like, oh, and so I just decided to numb out for a little bit, which again, emotional eating is not a sin. I didn't commit a crime. I'm not a terrible person. I don't hate myself. I'm not a binge eater. Like, I'm not gonna put all these labels on myself because it was a holiday, it was Thanksgiving, something was going on in my head, whoop-de-doo, I ate some food. Like, do you guys think of me differently? Like, seriously, do you think of other people differently when you see them eat a lot? So don't think of yourself differently, because there's so much more going on, there's so much more to explore and reflect on. And I invite you to do that with compassion instead of criticism. So replace all the compassion you have with criticism. Just throw the criticism out the window and replace it with compassion, like you were talking to a friend. Oh, why do you feel that way? Why do you think that is? What do you think's going on? And then reflect on it and move on with your life. Don't spend a lot of time reflecting. That's another thing that I feel like we struggle with in this whole personal growth, recovery, self-discovery space, is that we feel the need to constantly reflect and constantly perfect. Because we're so caught up on reflecting, we think that if we just reflect a little bit more, then we can perfect our lives. When in reality, it's an ongoing journey of self-reflection. It's an ongoing journey of self-discovery. So you're never gonna be in that place of like, oh, I self-reflected and now I'm self-aware enough to know that I am never ever gonna overeat again. That's just not the case, nor should that be. That's not life. So once you reflect, I really want you to move forward. Switch your focus, move forward, call a friend, do something else. Pick up a hobby, but don't fuel all your time, energy, money, and attention getting yourself in that trap of constant like, oh, why did I do this? Why did I do that? What triggered this? That's also a trap in and of itself. So anything taken to extreme is going to be detrimental to your health. So I want you to chill out and know that you did nothing wrong just because you ate a lot. And know that you don't have to have a bad body image day if you ate a lot the day before. And know that it's okay to eat a lot. It's okay to enjoy the holidays with your family. It's okay to get seconds. It's just food. At the end of the day, it's just food. There's something deeper going on if you're beating yourself up about it over and over and over again. And that's where I want you to replace criticism with compassion and then move on with your life. So I know I rambled. Rewatch this video if you have to, and let me know in the comments what landed with you the most, because whatever that is, I want to expand and elaborate more on that in my future videos. So please help me help you. And as always, if you haven't hit that red button yet and subscribe to my channel and the thumbs up and all the YouTube-y things, do those because they really do help me create all this stuff for you. So thank you so much. I love you. Mwah. Hang in there. You got this.
Summer